Well, hey, everybody, it is Lisa from True North Homeschool Academy, and I'm here to talk to you today about getting started with homeschooling. It seemed like the whole world went back to homeschooling or went to homeschooling. I would say back because, before 1890s, everybody in America was a homeschooler. So, in some ways, we did get back to homeschooling, but it wasn't the way everybody wanted to or expected to. Getting thrown into something like taking on a whole nother job because homeschooling is a job when they were trying to balance and juggle in the midst of this time of disruption was so much, just way too much. But more people are homeschooling than ever before, and maybe you're thinking about it, but you're a little intimidated. So I just want to give you some tips and tricks about how to get started with homeschooling. And if you're thinking about it, you're not even sure what's the next step, we'd love to chat with you. It's what we do at True North Homeschool Academy. We come alongside fellow homeschoolers so that you can go farther faster. So you can reach out to us on our website at truenorthhomeschool.academy or on our Facebook pages, in our groups. We also own It's Not That Hard to Homeschool, Instagram, YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. We would love to hear from you and interact with you. So, homeschooling, what's it all about? How to get started? Let's start with first things first. You do want to connect with the state laws in your state, and you can check those out by going to HSLDA. They have this beautiful map, and you can just click on the map of your state or click on your state on the map, and it will take you to the laws in your state. Some states are very just lax, and you don't have to do much. In our state, we just have to fill out a piece of paper, intent to homeschool, alternative education form. But in some states, you need to get a portfolio done every year. And so you want to be aware, what does your state require from you so that you don't get into any legal trouble? It is perfectly legal to homeschool in all states right now. But again, the requirements vary from state to state. So start there. Just save yourself some trouble maybe down the line. And generally in every state, it's very easy to do those required actions. So I would not get stressed about it at all. The second thing I like to encourage all new homeschoolers and even seasoned homeschoolers to do is to create an action plan that does include your vision, mission, and goals. Now, your vision is your why. Why are you homeschooling in the first place? And a lot of people, especially since 2020, decided to homeschool in reaction to. That's nothing new. People have always homeschooled because they don't like what's going on out there. But I think it's easier to sustain anything you do with a positive instead of a negative. So, what is your why? In our home, and one of the leading visions that we have at True North Homeschool Academy is that education is the transmission of culture. And I do believe that. I mean, and everybody from the Catholic Church to Adolf Hitler agrees with me. It's not my saying. Will and Ariel Durant came up with it. And that is, again, education is the transmission of culture. But I think it's an important idea. And so, whatever the educational pedagogy, how people are teaching, what they're teaching, all that goes into pedagogy. That is going to transmit a culture. And that is why we personally decided to homeschool, is because we wanted to transmit a culture of Christ, truth, beauty, and goodness. We wanted our kids to know that truth was a capital T, and knowable, and that they could live that out, that goodness and beauty were an important part of our life on this earth. And we didn't see other educational institutions really embracing that in the way that we felt was super important. So our reason for homeschooling. What's your reason for homeschooling? I would get together with your spouse and even your kids and ask them, why do you think we should be homeschooling? Now, not everybody might be on board with it. And your kids might say, we shouldn't be. Ask them what their why is for not. Why shouldn't they be? And then help them see some of your ideas about why homeschooling is so very important. Your mission is, what will you get done? And I like to include physical, mental, spiritual, and social as I'm thinking through what we're going to do with homeschooling every year. What are we going to get done? What kind of PE are we going to get done? What kind of academic work? How are we going to help our kids develop spiritually? And then what kind of social activities are we going to be involved in? And that might be classes or co-ops. It might be ballroom dancing or theater or politics. There's so many different ways to be involved socially now as homeschoolers. But just covering those four basic areas helps make sure that you've got a well-rounded kid at the end, hopefully, and that you're hitting all the bases. And then goals are those small incremental steps that take you towards accomplishing your mission. They should be SMART goals, so specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. And those just really help you make small baby steps every day towards your bigger mission. So create your action plan, include your vision, mission, and goals. Secondly, create your action plan for managing your home. So what a lot of people are not thinking through as they homeschooling is that homeschooling is a job. Managing a home is a job. So many of us are working while we're homeschooling. That's actually a job. Being married and relational kind of activities, those are jobs. So we have a lot of jobs when we add homeschooling. We started out with them and then we added homeschooling, which is also a job. So how are we going to manage our home in the midst of all these different jobs? And that's time management, household management, and homeschooling. It's just a lot. For our time management, one of the things we did in our family, we had 5 kids spaced out between 16 years from youngest to oldest, with 3 to 5 years apart between each kiddo. So we had preschoolers at the same time we had kids about to enter college. We did a weekly family planning meeting, and we would coordinate schedules, talk about online classes, meals, extracurriculars. We'd divvy up the driving at that time, who was going to pick up, make sure nobody got left behind. And that was super helpful as we managed everybody. And we included dad in that, because sometimes he could drop off and pick up. And, just having an idea of where everybody's going to be and who's doing what is super helpful. Also, you can talk about any upcoming trips or celebrations or activities that everybody's involved in. Make sure everybody's on the same sheet of music before the week gets started. And then we always did a weekly individual student meeting, especially as our kids got into junior and senior high. We would set aside a weekly meeting, like an hour with each homeschooled student. And you could do this with kids who are in school too, but we would go over schedule, responsibilities, due dates. I've told this story so many times, but our son was in Taekwondo. So he would set aside an hour for Taekwondo, but that was just the length of the lesson. But he wasn't taking into account 20-minute drive there, the 20-minute drive back, that he had to collect his gear, get his water bottle, make sure his ski was out of the dryer, all those things, put the dogs away. And then coming home, he had to take a shower, get a snack, all these things. So it usually ended up being about a 2-hour activity, not a one. And those weekly planning meetings can be super helpful in helping your kids think through all of what goes into one activity. It develops critical thinking skills, executive functioning skills. I did a blog post and a podcast on this, because I think it's so very important to help your kids start thinking through everything that goes into one activity. The other thing that we did for time management was we did a daily gathering, or morning basket, whatever you want to call it. We would do a family Bible study, read aloud, memory work. We used it as a combination of just learning together, talking together, discussing, but really that was so important, especially with kids spread out in age, to all connect together and learn together. Some of the things we did was review, some of it was preview, but everybody had a good time talking and laughing together, some of our favorite memories. And then again, I've talked about this before. We like to work on skills in the morning and concepts in the afternoon. I'm not a time block kind of girl. I like time. I mean, not an hour by hour girl. I prefer time blocks. So that's how we blocked our time, was by content in the morning, our skills in the morning, and content in the afternoon. So for household management, I think it's really important to create a simple plan for meals and laundry. Those are your 2 big tasks that are never, ever, 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 ever going to go away. Housework is a job, homeschooling is a job, working vocationally is a job. We just went over all that. So you need a simple, doable plan for getting laundry, food, and kitchen responsibilities taken care of, because it's going to keep everybody sane, sanitary, and satisfied. Life is seasonal, and if you're just starting, plan really simply. Start simple, plan to get it done. You can grow into complexity once you have a system and a level of comfort with the new normal of adding homeschooling to your day. But I like to do batching. We did once a month cooking for quite a while, and you can even do once a week cooking or just batch cooking your meat. It can be a simple, effective solution to making sure that you have that covered for the week. And then develop routines for laundry, because if you don't, you're gonna go a little nuts. We had 7 people in the house at one time, and the way we managed it we would switch laundry from washer to dryer throughout the week, and then we'd fold and put it all away on one single day. So we didn't have it all out all week long. Our laundry was on a different floor than our main living room level, but we would have kids go down and switch it around from washer to dryer, take it out, put it on the folding table, or put it in baskets. And then we would all collectively fold and put the laundry away all in one fell swoop once a week. Because if you don't, and you have unfolded laundry around your living room area, it's just a mess. And then you end up rewashing laundry. The other thing too, I would just say bulk shop once a month and then mini bulk shop weekly. It'll save you a lot of time and money. The fewer times you go to the store, the less money you spend. Okay, how do you choose curriculum? I would say start with your mission for each student. What do you want them to accomplish for the year? What subjects do those goals fall into? And from there, choose the curriculum. And look, there are literally thousands of curriculum choices, and everyone has their favorites. But the best curriculum is the one that gets done. So don't feel like you need to chase every shiny object. We use the same curriculum for all 5 kids over years. Alpha Phonics for all 5 kids did the trick, cost us $30 or $28 way back in the 90s. And we never bought another phonics program. It worked beautifully. I like to base my curriculum choices on solid educational pedagogy. Curriculum companies that I know do a really good job and are effective, that are kind of simple and open and go, because I like simple because then I can add the things I want to it and fluff it up easily. So just choose what's going to work for you. And look, if you're bored with curriculum, your kids are probably going to be bored with curriculum. So make sure that you're choosing something you're intrigued and interested in as well. So for curriculum planning, keep it simple. Always keep it simple. Start with the core 4: math, English, science, and history. For younger students, focus specifically on number literacy and fluency. Choose simple but effective programs. Again, I told you I like Alpha Phonics, and we always added Explode the Code. And then I love Right Start Math. It's a little teacher intense, but it's phenomenal. For older kids, they should begin to focus on growing in reading fluency and understanding numeracy, etc. So choose curriculum and online classes that teach simple analysis and various forms of writing as they get older. Outsourcing classes that you don't feel confident or comfortable with is super helpful. We love True North Homeschool Academy classes for that very reason. And one of the reasons we started True North is that we needed help with some of the subjects that I didn't have the time or capability to do. Source for the win. Here's why. Multiply the number of students you have times the number of subjects you teach a year times the number of years you homeschool. For me, that was 5 kids, 6 subjects a year times 12 years, 360 classes. Can and even should you do it all? That's a great question, right? Should you even do it all? Just because you're homeschool doesn't mean you have to do everything. Outsource any classes you don't feel equipped to teach, like foreign language, plus those you don't have the time or energy to handle, or even the ones you don't even want to teach. And honestly, it's a great way for your students to explore other opportunities, maximize opportunities. Listen, homeschooling can look like whatever you want it to look like. I also think, keeping it simple is important. Learning can take place anywhere, anytime. Get started. Remember to keep it simple. It's really so easy to add in resources as you discover areas of interest, skills that need to be honed, and listen, the world needs exploring. So have fun with homeschooling. Education really is the transmission of culture, and it's time to impart those things to your kids that you think are important. If you think a certain academic subject is important or a certain biblical subject is important, take the time. You have the time. That's one of the beautiful things about homeschooling, to really dive into those things that you are excited about. And again, you're your kid's best resource. At True North Homeschool Academy, we really work to create an amazing and robust program for you. You can pick and choose and take one class at a time or take the whole smash with us. You can always take academic advising. It literally will save you time and money over the years. And of course, we have a ton of freebies on the Printables section of our homeschool page. So check out our class offerings. We'd love to include you this year. We've got a place for you. And it's our honor to walk alongside you as you are homeschooling. Okay, you guys, this is Lisa from True North Homeschool Academy. Let me know if you have any questions. You can always reach out to me, and we'd love to chat with you about homeschooling or getting started with homeschooling. I'll talk to you soon.